Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. It's Toby Barker, and we are glad that you joined us today for this afternoon's briefing on our testing numbers. As we'll talk about a high water mark that we have just hit with some new cases, and we'll talk about a very generous donation from a company that's going to help us with our efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19 in our community. So we'll look at today's numbers, and again, this is system-wide. Forest General serves 19 counties. Merit Health Wesley serves 18 counties. Both Semri and Hattiesburg Clinic serve several counties as well. So when you see these, understand it's not just Forest and Lamar counties. So to date, we've had 3,631 total tests. 375 of those have tested positive. 2,898 have tested negative, and 358 are pending. Of course, getting that pending number down has been very beneficial in terms of saving personal protective equipment in hospitals. It also is a better feedback to our community in the outpatient setting, trying to get results so people can get themselves quarantined when need be. Our overall goals are protecting vulnerable populations. Those are people over the age of 60, and those are folks with underlying or chronic health conditions. And the second goal is to prevent the overrun of our healthcare system by slowing the spread. When we talk about overrunning our healthcare system, we look at two things: hospitalizations and ICU admissions. Hospitalizations, right now we have 26 people system-wide. That's between Merit Health and Forest General that are in the hospital admitted for COVID-19. We have 8 more under suspicion, which means they are showing 1 of 3 symptoms of cough, fever, trouble breathing. The other metric we look at is ICU admissions. These are people that have progressed and require more acute care with more specialized personnel and equipment. 12 of those right now are in the ICU, have tested positive for COVID-19. 1 more is under investigation. And so we want to make sure that when we go forward that there is sufficient personnel and equipment to take care of you if and when you get sick and if you require acute care. We saw a big jump today. We have 134 cases in Forest County, 56 in Lamar County. Both counties saw significant jumps, and in the entire metro area we saw 20 new cases today. That is the high water mark in terms of the most cases added in one day, and that happened today. So that what that tells us is when we look at our curve, you're continuing to see bigger jumps between days now, both in Forest County, Lamar County, and in the entire metro area. And that means that we can't take our foot off the pedal. We have to continue to double down and stay the course when it comes to social distancing, when it comes to protective measures for our community, and making good individual and collective decisions. Just a reminder, in terms of making good collective decisions, good individual decisions, if you are working at an essential business or if you're working at a non-essential business that is providing minimum operations, if you're an employee and you're around other employees, you must have a mask on. Or if you're an employee that's working in the same room as the public, you have to have a mask on. And that's in addition to all social distancing and shelter-in-place measures. We are absolutely recommending to a very strong degree that if you are a member of the general public and you're going to a grocery store or a restaurant or some other essential place, that you put a mask on. And again, a mask is not just the N95 and surgical mask. It can be anything, any cloth or fabric mask that covers your nose and mouth that allows you to breathe easily. We are proud to announce today, you probably saw it on his social media video, Spartan Mosquito has donated 60,000 cloth masks. These are the standard when it comes to cloth mask. The CDC recommends it meets that threshold, that basic threshold. We want to thank Jeremy and the team at Spartan Mosquito for this generous donation. We knew that that stockpiles by the government are typically prioritized for healthcare providers, fittingly so. First responders, city and county personnel, but to have someone step forward to make a donation that the general public can have access to. This means there's no more excuses for why we shouldn't all be wearing masks right now when we go out. And so we're going to target these. Of course, no distribution system is perfect, and this is obviously our first time in a pandemic, and so we're trying to be as creative and try to think ahead as much as we can. It doesn't mean that we've checked every box, but what we're trying to do is target those essential retail touch points that you're already going to, as opposed to making you go to somewhere new. We want you to, if you're going out to do the essentials, that maybe the mask is there available for you. So if you go into a grocery store or a pharmacy and you didn't have a mask on already, we've been talking to our partners in the private sector, and those masks will be available at the door when you come in, so that you can not only shop with them, but you can also take them with you, because these are reusable and they are washable. We want you to make use of them throughout this pandemic. We'll also have these at certain government facilities like fire stations, and we are working with other community organizations to try and target those at-risk communities that have more adverse reactions to this disease. Where can you get a mask? We are talking to, and we have secured partnerships with most of our grocery stores in Forest and Lamar counties. We are trying to also do the same thing with pharmacies and other retailers. All Hattiesburg fire stations will have these. Lamar County will have them at all of their volunteer fire stations. And these will be available starting this weekend. We are working on a complete list of distribution points for the 2-county area. That will be available at hattiesburgms.com/coronavirus. And if you cannot find one, we want you to reach out to us. We know that we did not think of every specific location that needs one. We know that ahead of time. So if you are looking for a mask and you cannot find one, please reach out to us. Our office is 601-545-4501. You can also reach out to us on social media, on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Nextdoor. We would be glad to try and make touch with you, because we want a mask available to every person in Forest and Lamar counties. The only way that we protect each other going forward, and we think about long term and how we get through this and how we get things restarted, is if we all wear a mask, because that does, each of our parts to try and protect each other. And we also want you, when you pick these up, to just wear them out in public. When you go to the grocery store, when you go to pick up takeout food, when you go to run any other essential errand, there's no excuse now not to wear a mask. So, but remember, as with anything, don't storm the stores. If you go to your grocery store this weekend and they're already out of masks, reach out to City Hall. We'll try and make one happen for you. And I know that our partners at Spartan Mosquito are trying to make some other masks available next week. So there's no reason to panic. There's no reason to storm the stores. Remember your social distancing guidelines. Try to keep 6 feet between you and other shoppers. Try to avoid peak times, which tend to be in the mid-afternoons on Saturdays. Take only what you need. When we're faced with crisis, sometimes there's a temptation to panic buy. There's no need to do that. Take one. If you have a spouse, take one for them. If you have a roommate, take one. But take only what you need. And if you already have one, there's no need to take one at all. And remember, these are reusable and washable. We don't want to see these cluttered in the parking lots because you used them once and you threw them down. That's a terrible waste of resources. So reuse these, wash them again. Of course, our act of courage this week goes to our friends at Spartan Mosquito. They reached out and asked what they could do, and this was a goal that many of us had in our healthcare community, as well as in levels of government. We knew that the only way to protect everyone was for everyone to wear a mask, and we believe this is the path forward, where we can really start to flatten that curve and stop seeing as many new cases. So thanks to Spartan Mosquito for that. And remember, wash your hands, take care of yourself, wear a mask, because there's no excuse anymore if you go in public. Do only what is essential and stay home. We look forward to talking with you again before the weekend, and again, courage.